The ballroom fell into silence. Crystal chandeliers glittered overhead, violins hummed softly, and cameras flashed across the hall where the city's wealthiest had gathered. At the center of the gala stood Ethan Walker, the young billionaire CEO known for his arrogance as much as his fortune. He swirled his glass of vintage red wine, smirking as he leaned toward a young black woman standing gracefully by the edge of the crowd. She was tall, elegant, radiant, dressed in a modest yet stunning gown that made her stand out without trying. Her name was Amara Lewis, a rising fashion model who had worked her way from nothing. But Ethan didn't see grace, didn't see dignity, he saw an easy target for his ego. With a careless laugh, he tilted his glass and poured dark red wine down the front of her gown. Gasps rippled through the room. Amara froze, the sting of humiliation burning deeper than the wine soaking her dress. Every eye turned toward her, some wide with pity, others entertained by the spectacle. Ethan's mocking words cut through the air. "Don't take it so seriously, it's just a dress. You models can always find another one, can't you?" Amara's hands trembled, but she refused to give him the satisfaction of seeing her break. She lifted her chin, her voice steady yet sharp. "Respect is harder to replace than fabric. Remember that, Mr. Walker." With that, she walked out of the hall, her ruined gown dragging behind her like a trail of wounded pride. That night, Amara cried alone in her small apartment. Not because of the stain, but because the world still believed her worth could be diminished in a moment by someone richer, whiter, and louder. She thought of her late mother, who had once whispered to her, "Dignity is a crown no one can steal unless you hand it over." Amara promised herself she would not hand it over. What Ethan didn't know was that Amara wasn't just a model. She was also an entrepreneur, co-founder of a small but fast-growing agency connecting underrepresented models and designers with international brands. For months, she had been negotiating with one of the world's biggest fashion conglomerates on a groundbreaking partnership deal. It wasn't just business, it was about opening doors that had been slammed shut for people like her. The next morning, the news broke. Amara Lewis signs historic $847 million deal with global fashion house. Her photo was everywhere, radiant, powerful, unbroken. She had inked the biggest deal the company had ever seen, securing opportunities not only for herself but for hundreds of models who had been overlooked. Ethan sat in his glass-walled office, staring at the headlines. His smirk was gone. The same woman he had humiliated now commanded respect across the business world. For the first time, he felt something he rarely did, shame. But Amara wasn't interested in revenge. When asked about the incident at the gala during an interview, she smiled faintly. "What happened doesn't define me," she said. "What defines me is how I chose to rise the next day. I'm not here to tear anyone down. I'm here to build something bigger than myself." Her words went viral. People across the world, young women, dreamers, and especially those who had faced prejudice, saw her not just as a model, but as a symbol of resilience. Her agency grew rapidly, becoming a beacon for diversity and opportunity in fashion. Meanwhile, Ethan tried to reach out, offering apologies both public and private. But Amara never replied, not because she hated him, but because she had moved beyond the need for validation from men like him. Her success was her answer. Months later, they crossed paths again at a United Nations conference on women's empowerment in business. This time, Ethan extended his hand respectfully, his arrogance replaced with humility. Amara shook it politely but firmly, looking him in the eye. "I hope you've learned," she said quietly, "that respect is the greatest currency of all." The hall erupted with applause as she walked to the podium, her presence commanding attention not because of scandal, but because of strength. Amara's journey reminded the world of a powerful truth: the people you dismiss today may become the ones rewriting the rules tomorrow. And sometimes, the very wine spilled to humiliate you becomes the fire that fuels your rise. She wore her mother's words like armor, her dignity like a crown, and the world had no choice but to bow to it. Would you like me to expand this into a full-length script format, with more dialogue, inner monologues, and scene details, so it can naturally flow for a 55-minute YouTube video narration?